We've both been in Dubai for over 10 years, and if we had had a crystal ball, there are so many things we would have done differently. For those who don't know me, my name is Agathe. I've been living in Dubai since 2013. I've been investing here for about 10 years, and I'm the founder of the Dubai agency that supports European investors in their investment journey in Dubai. And today I'm here with Amel.
Thank you for having me in your car, Agathe. So yes, for those who don't know me, I'm Amel. I've been living in Dubai since 2017. I'm a content creator and entrepreneur. And on my YouTube channel, I help people discover Dubai, settle in, or just come here on vacation.
Now that we've been in Dubai for 10 years and we've seen the changes that we couldn't have predicted back when we first arrived, I think both you and I, what would we have done differently? I have a few ideas, mostly about investment, real estate, and so on. But what about you? What would you have done?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't have wasted my time in salaried jobs because when I arrived in Dubai, I was looking for a job. I worked for a while in the corporate world for 2 years. I had quite a few bad experiences, getting fired, quitting jobs. I also find that the corporate environment in Dubai is very toxic. So that's something I would have avoided. I would have jumped straight into entrepreneurship. I also would have launched my YouTube channel much sooner. Because I think with what we know now, like you said, there are investments we know we should have made. When I arrived in 2017, you much earlier, I would have launched my YouTube channel right away to get as many leads as possible, as many subscribers as possible, as many people following me as possible, so that I could then promote whatever I wanted to sell, whether in entrepreneurship, and also to be able to use the money earned to make investments.
And back then, what held you back? Because you already had a channel when you were in France, right?
No, I actually launched my channel in 2019.
Okay, got it. So to document your life here, your professional experience too, and then life in Dubai, expatriation, and so on.
Yeah, actually the goal was really to share both the positives and the negatives, but especially to show the reality of what expats experience in Dubai. Because I think that even back in 2019, and it's even worse today, when it comes to the information circulating, there's a lot of misinformation, a lot of lies. You really have to know how to sort through it. And that's why on my YouTube channel, I really try to provide factual information. And I also try to stay objective as much as possible. I'm not here to sell people a dream. I'm really here to share my feelings, my experience, my reality. That's the main goal of my YouTube channel and what I do on Instagram as well.
Yes, because it's true that there are a lot of biases about Dubai since COVID. It's even worse now because Dubai was put in the spotlight by French influencers who show you the high life and so on. But even, when I arrived 10 or 12 years ago, there was a different bias. It was all about the Emirates, petrodollars, people coming with expat packages where basically you don't pay for anything, your house is paid for, your children's school is paid for, and so on. But in reality, that's not the case at all. When you arrive here, you still need a certain amount just to be able to pay your rent, your children's school, to buy a car. Well, you have a special case, but generally you buy your car here because for getting around, there really isn't much public transportation or anything like that. That's also something you have to take into account. And people think that money grows on trees, actually.
That's exactly it. And I think people actually don't understand enough that when you come to Dubai, you need to have at least one of these two things, either skills or money. If I didn't have the money, what I would do right away is capitalize on my expertise, on what I know about Dubai, on what I know about how Dubai is going to develop, and above all, I think the main opportunities were during COVID. I think that during COVID, those who had the guts to invest are now at Blue Water, smoking a cigar and drinking whiskey. I think I would have done quite a few things differently. And since you're really an investor, you're able to anticipate opportunities, etc. What would you have done really differently 10 years ago?
Me, a bit like you, when I arrived, I immediately wanted to look for a job. It's already quite complicated to arrive in a foreign country. You're in a foreign language and the culture is still quite different. So at first you want security. And I was also an employee for years. I was an employee here for 7 years. When I decided to quit and go out on my own, it was the best decision of my life. So honestly, I think I would have done it much earlier. And of course, in real estate investment, once again, I started out with my first investments in ultra-secure things with IMA in downtown. Afterwards, off-plan, sure, but always with IMA, Maras, top developers. And also with apartments, because that's kind of what we do in Europe, buying small units, one bedrooms, studios, and so on. Whereas here, what you really needed to do was bet on areas that didn't exist at all yet. I never thought you could make capital gains of 3 times your investment, you know, for example, in less than 10 years. And that's something we've seen in places like Blue Waters, for example. So there you really had to bet on places that didn't exist at all and that are kind of random because you're still all the way at the end of Dubai on an island that didn't exist. So as you said, you really needed to have the guts, and I would have bought townhouses as well. Because you see, no one could have imagined it. Dubai, actually, when we arrived, it was really a place for singles, young couples. So as a result, no one was betting at all on townhouses or on the family population. And that has really changed over the past few years. I have personal friends, so these are real people, not urban legends, who tripled their money on townhouses and villas in 5 years. Can you imagine?
That's incredible.
And during COVID, I was visiting townhouses in Springs, for example, in the Springs neighborhood. And you had Vulek townhouses at 2 million dirhams. That's about 500,000 euros. And today they're worth 1.5 million. So basically they tripled in value in 5 years on something like a savings account in an existing neighborhood just because they were townhouses. And otherwise the people who tripled their money did so in neighborhoods like Dubai Hills, you know, on townhouses and villas. And those were things I didn't look at all back then because I was stuck in my European mindset, actually. With my bias, we buy 1-bedrooms and studios.
And safe bets where you don't take too many risks.
An already mature neighborhood, a well-known developer. And as a result, you end up overpaying. You overpay and you have much less potential for value appreciation. Big mistake, but it's not over yet. Just because we didn't do it over the past 10 years doesn't mean we can't do it now.
You think there are still opportunities?
Yes, of course, of course. I think that today, more than ever, with the population set to double by 2040 and all eyes on Dubai, along with the global economic, social and political context, I believe that now more than ever you have to bet on Dubai and focus on the areas that will be the place to be tomorrow, the seaside areas. I think that ultimately, as everywhere, what works well is either being in the city center or by the sea. And I think that in the long run, the city center of Dubai will be an agglomeration of downtown Meydan and Creek Harbour.
I have a question for you. We haven't had the chance to talk about it, and I'd really like to get your opinion on it. I heard now, I don't know if it's true, I don't know if it's just a rumor, but apparently Dubai Airport, so DXB, is going to be demolished.
Yes.
Because they want to shift everything to Al Maktoum. And so don't you think that the southern area will develop much more because of that?
Actually, they want to demolish DXB because, as we've known for a long time, everything is going to move to Al Maktoum and it's going to become a huge logistics hub. So they're already building the airport, plus everything that's going to be around it. And there's already the Jebel Ali port, which handles all the... No, the port, all of Dubai's port activity is in Jebel Ali. So it actually makes a lot of sense to put the airport over there. It doesn't make any sense actually to have a port in that location and an airport right in the middle of the city. Besides, it just doesn't make sense. When it was built, Dubai wasn't what it is today. So putting Al Maktoum to the south across from Jebel Ali, that makes perfect sense. So it's going to become a huge logistics hub, but to say that from a residential point of view, it's going to become the place to be, no, I don't think so. Because as a result, it's really going to be an industrial hub, just like it is today. And then Palm Jebel Ali is something else entirely. That's really where there are big capital gains to be made. But as for the immediate vicinity of the airport, I personally wouldn't bet on it. I would rather bet on more premium areas like Meydan. When you see what's being built in DAFC, you know, in terms of by Faza, the Crown Prince, which will be the largest and most modern thermal baths in the world, and so on. When you see what's being built on Dubai Island, Maritime City, downtown will always be downtown, and Jumeirah Beach residents will always be Jumeirah Beach residents. So for me, the premium side of Dubai will mostly remain in that area. But on the other hand, for more working class or lower middle class housing, there will definitely be a big demand around Al Maktoum. So you have to be careful. You need to be strategic and pay attention to what you buy over there. But yes, I got the information too. That's true, it was in the news, it's public. When the Dexbay Airport is demolished, they're going to build a real estate project there. But I don't have any more information than that. We just saw real estate project and we don't know what it is. So even in terms of positioning, it would be something high-end because they're completely redeveloping the Dera area and the seafront.
You've been to the new area too. New
Gold Souk. It's not
new, but you see, towards Twiggy, all that, towards Akrik actually. There, they've built quite a few luxury hotels, restaurants, rooftops. I went there not long ago. I went to Ruby by Iris, and honestly, it's really beautiful.
Yes, that area
Is really starting to take off, I feel like. In
fact, like Nakheel, which is the government, they're really developing what used to be called Dera Island and is now called Dubai Island, with golf courses, with mansions worth 100 million dirhams. It's really going to be ultra luxurious over there. They can't afford to have rundown, really old buildings facing them. So actually, along the entire seafront on the Dera side, they've already started developing what's called the new Gold Souk. It's super beautiful. It's ultra modern. Rents are already quite high there. They
you want to gentrify Dera, basically.
Exactly. Afterwards, I don't know what they're going to do with the really old part of Dera, honestly. But here, they're capable of demolishing everything and rebuilding something new. They're not afraid of things like that.
It's true, they're not afraid. Are there any mistakes that you would have absolutely avoided? Did you make mistakes there? And if you were to start over, you'd say, I won't fall into that again?
Yes, so honestly, I'm going to repeat myself, but it's staying trapped in salaried work and thinking because they make you believe that it's the only way to make a living, to thrive. And the mistakes were waiting too long to invest and not taking enough risks. And aside from the business side, more on a personal level, what would you do differently now that you have a bit of perspective?
Oh, clearly, I would waste less time with people. Because I think when you arrive in Dubai, of course, there's the excitement of Dubai. You want to do everything, discover everything. Now, I would just focus on what's essential, really. I think that with the knowledge I have today, even now, I'm better at spotting red flags in certain people. There are still a lot of scammers in Dubai, a lot of smooth talkers, dream sellers, and so on. Dubai is still a city where, yes, money is visible, there's a lot of money to be made, and as a result, it attracts people who aren't necessarily honest. With the information I have now, of course, I'd be better at identifying those types of people, and I'd really focus on those who can genuinely help me move forward and grow. People like you, for example, you see. No, but it's true. People who give you real information, you know. Like you've always been honest with me about real estate investments, about what needed to be done, whereas some agents, and sometimes they're your friend. That's the worst part, really. You're friends, but they'll give you crappy information just because they want to get their commission, actually.
But still, all is not lost. That's what we always say in investing. The best time to invest was 10 years ago, and the second best time is today. So I think it's never too late, and that today is exactly when you should be preparing for the future. And for you too, I hope that with the perspective and experience you have now, you'll stop wasting your time with people who are useless.
And above all, to invest. That's it, I'm investing too now.
All right, let's go. So we'll talk about this again soon.
Sounds good.
If you don't want to make the same mistakes we did and you want to take the leap to invest in Dubai, don't hesitate to contact us, whether it's me or a member of my team. We would be delighted to support you in this project. In the meantime, I'll see you soon in the next video.